Well, g'day. It's the 5th of September, and that's a Friday, and it's a beautiful blue sky day outside. Stops raining, not cloudy anymore, not a cloud in the sky. Looks good. Still haven't got the car going, but I think I'm getting it going today. And then we can get organised. So, quite a few things going on. I just sent an update to all the managers and the entrants about the stopovers and so on, which I'll talk about at the end. Just waiting for a few people to pop up. Weekend's coming. I hope you're going to have an exciting weekend. I'm just laughing at myself. Oh, I got a really exciting weekend. More computer stuff, and then hopefully over to England next week. Anyway, we'll see. Tomorrow actually marks the 1 year deadline from the start of the Golden Globe race, the other round the world race. And we've got a press conference. We're delaying it until the 16th here in the South Delaying. So I'll just put a few photos up or something tomorrow and say, ooh, 1 year to go. We used to say that about the MGR. I remember when it was 1 year to go to before the MGR, and now we're right in the thick of it. And jeepers, the speeds are amazing. So the stopover times, I'm going to have to juggle them because we've got some deadlines going down to Cape Town. But the speeds they're just stunning, absolutely stunning. It's 5,000 miles basically from Fiji to Cocos, and you wouldn't believe it. I mean, I'll wait and I'll talk about it at the end on bits and pieces. So, but yeah, it's stunning. I'm shocked. Anyway, even for the tail ender fleet, like there's the lead pack now, and then there's the others. Okay, and even their average speed, I can tell you their average speed for the others. They're all averaging about 115 miles a day for the last 5,000 miles, which is just what the just crazy. So very impressive to say the least. And yeah. So, okay, straight into it. No use dilly-dallying. Who's got here? They missed the live on the tracker. I've just got to get my... this was a funny one as well. I just got to get my thing turned on. I was just looking here, to see John's got a thing over there. See that black thing on the transom? I don't even noticed it. This is the first three-motor 580 that I've seen. He's got an e-propulsion on board. And then he's also got a Mercury electric outboard on board, and now he's got an electric petrol engine on board because he's going cruising. So that was pretty stunning. Anyway, but I'm not getting the thing on. I've got to check that we're actually online here now. I've got to normally just refresh, and I'm on here, and I should be there. Yep. Oh, look at that! I'm there. Looking at myself. It's quite funny, eh? Have I got volume? Are we speaking? Yes, we do. Okay, so we're all happening here. Oh, Christine's there. G'day. You're still in Darwin. Jeepers. Buddy, Mark will never have a hope of catching us, so never mind. All good. All good. Okay, so I'm going to go to the tracker now, and we'll start talking about... I didn't talk about the pictures there. Why are these pictures here? We're going to talk about that. That's... the navigation entry into Cocos. This interestingly enough, I'll gas bag now. You can get on Google Earth, right? Go Cocos Keeling and see this track here. That's the track for the 360-degree camera. So it's like your street view. So you've got a street view from the middle of the island there, and West Island where they're going to go. So you can go there and you've got 360 degrees. You can look at the beach. You can look where they're anchoring. You're not going to see the boats there, but you know how Google Street View works. But you can have a good look around the island. It's quite interesting. You can go for a walk up the main street. We've got the airport there as well. This is the end of the airport. This runs on the strip there, a couple of flights a week. And I think they've got two airlines now. I saw Virgin was going out there and one of the others. Anyway, interesting way to have a look at the island. So we'll talk about that a bit in a sec. So, tracker. You're on the tracker. I'm on the tracker. Boom. And here we go. This sort of pseudo front thing, it's not a front, it's just a wind gradient is coming, not quite on them yet. Interestingly, I went to Windy, the actual Windy site, because I thought, I wonder what it is gusting here. And for the first time ever, when I hit an area around here, they say no data for that area. This is on the Windy main site. And I've got a subscription service. So I don't know why that's happening. The computer model might be down. I don't know. Anyway, so generally, this whole orangey yellow area here is going to be a solid 25 knots, gusting 30, 35. And the sea state, windy, did have data on, and it was suggesting, 3.5 meter seas, which means it could go up to 4 meters. So they're going to get a bit lumpy very shortly, if not already. It'll just be coming about to them now. So here we go, back end of the fleet. Josh doing 4.1 and 117-mile days. So I'll pick this up so you can see what's going on here if you're on a phone. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Ayrton is 4.1 knots and did a 119-mile day. Just as a by the way, on the Golden Globe Race Facebook page and YouTube and so on, we're running a weekly documentary series on each of the entrants in the 2022 GGR. And it just so happens, you're the first to hear this, but it's Ayrton's episode will be up tomorrow. So if you want to see Ayrton's story from the 2022 GGR, if you get on the GGR Facebook page, it'll be up there. And it'll probably be 20-minute doco about him and the GGR, which is a bit of fun. Anyway, Jasmine, 4.2, 114-mile day. This is really interesting because I worked out the average of all these guys is all 115-mile day. There you go, Eric Marsh, right on the average. So, Eric, in case you didn't realise it, I worked it out to when you arrive at Cocos. It's about 5,000 miles divided by your days. You're all averaging about 115 miles a day all the way from Fiji, Buda Marina, over the last number of days, to 37, 40 days or something, whatever it was. So doing okay at the moment because it looks like a nice breeze out there right now, having good sailing. Christian doing 4.2 knots, 115-mile day. There you go. Another 115-mile day average. Oh, you're over above the average, Jacob. Funny, fishy story, losing your fish, by the way. The reel there, 5.8 knots and 118-mile day, bearing down on Adam. And Adam is doing 6.1 knots, 138-mile day. How'd you do that? Jeepers. That's pretty impressive. So so far, so good. Adam's the man of the moment back there. Okay, here we go. Peeler, 5.4, 135-mile day. Kerry, 4.7, 117-mile day, consistently slower. So haven't heard any news from Kerry. We've had a couple of messages on Facebook, but nothing about what's going on board. So that's kind of interesting. Dan was battening the hatches earlier yesterday, and 5.4 knots, 142-mile day. Jeepers, you get the move on. Kerry did 117. Peeler did 135. Dan's 142. So what's Renault up to? 137. So you're closing in, Dan. You're doing very well. And Renault's still out there, 5 knots and 137, gearing up to make the final approach into Cocos, which is, anyway, I'll explain it all. It's got a little bit of a challenge because when they turn the corner, the course to come in the lagoon is basically a headwind, so they're going to be tacking, but it's quite wide. So it's not, a perfect run in, but it's fine. They're just going to have to sail the way they do, and they all do that well. So let's see what the breeze is going to do for the next couple of days. Use my brand new mobile keyboard here. Is it going? Yes, it is. Every 3 days, 6 hours. So the next 6 hours, it's going to come over the lead pack or the lead 3, and then Peeler might be another little bit behind. So you can see there, not a lot going on in the back. It's lightening off for the backer fleet, so they're going to get lucky, I think. They'll just scoop the edge of it because it's fading away. So there's the 6. And by the time we get into the 7th, it's faded away. So the back end of the fleet are going to be pretty right. And in the next 2 days, Peeler might still be coming, but Kerry and Dan and Renault will be in, so they'll go in with a bit of a breeze. I think Peeler as well, but maybe a bit less. And the rest of them, yeah, they're going to have a fast run. So they're 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 4 days. They've all got fast sailing. Okay, the tail enders might get a bit, but it seems to be a bit of a hole around around West Island there in Cocos. So no big surprises there. Back to real-time weather there right now, so we can check the currents. That might be why Adam got a kick. Yep, look at that. Adam's, I'd say that little boost he's got is because he's actually been in the current longer. Jacob's just coming into it already, so that's why he's picked up speed compared to the others. If you remember rightly, there was a bit of a, the others were all on 115, 115, 115, and all of a sudden Jacob's 118. He's picked up a bit, and then Adam 138. So he's getting a lift there for sure. Okay, hit that again, and we'll just run the current through every 3 hours down here. It's going to hold, so they're all going to come into that by the look of it. Ayrton's maybe heading down a bit, but yep, so that current will hold. There's just a little push for the rest of the fleet coming through here. So pretty much as normal. The sky was showing, when I had a look on windy, has been a little bit overcast for sure. But right back here now, you've just got this distinct line coming through. It's overcast, a bit more power. Bit of drizzle, rain maybe, bits and pieces. So, but it's all coming from the right direction, southeast, until they get to the entrance. That's about all I can. They got blue sky down the back here, so I'll be happy with that. They might get lucky. No, there's a bit of stuff going to come over, so that's it. Oh, Clyde's here to try and sort out my car. Okay, so that's the story there. I'll quickly come back here now. Just show. Oh no, I won't. I'll come back to the tracker. Because if I come back to the tracker and then come onto the wind, here, come over there, get rid of that, and I'll just drive you into the Cocos here. This is the first impression of the entrance. Okay, so you can see there is quite an open scenario. It's about 0.8 of a mile, the entrance. They've got to come in through the top here. Just excuse me a sec. Clyde, I'll be there shortly. Thank you. Oh, that's my neighbour. He's giving me a hand on a few things. Okay, the gap between the entrance here is about 0.8 of a mile. Navigable about half a mile, which is probably from about there to there. 0.6 of a mile. Okay. When they come in, the wind is going to be coming from the southeast. This is the anchorage on the top right-hand corner. And they've got to come, they'll be tacking, of course. They'll probably come across here, then do a leg coming in here. Then they'll be able to reach across to get into the anchorage. Okay. So, and it's pretty wide, and there's quite a lot of fetch there. If you look at that, the lagoon itself, from there right down here, this is where the fetch is, but it's very shallow. But you're already up for 4 miles or so. There's a good 4 miles that's pretty shallow here. 4 miles of fetch, so they could get up to about a metre or so. And then if I come back now to me here and put the pictures on, right, you've got the pictures. Yes, they're there. And if I bring this through to the navigation, now you should be. Hang on. Whoop. Nope. Okay, so you've got the navigation now. So this is, I can't pick this up, but here's the lagoon. This is off of Navionics, a screenshot from the Navionics. If I then go to the next one, you can see here, there's West Island. You can see the anchorage just there. There's an anchor in there. There's very strict areas where they can anchor and where they can't in the management plan, but this is all pretty much open water. I had a scan through this. There's no shallow reefs or anything like that, so they can tack pretty comfortably into here, even tacking into 25 knots, 25 knots in a metre sea. They can plug along in that. They'll be reefed right down, but then they just reach into the anchorage under sail and get rid of drop the main, use the head sail, just round up and anchor. So it should be okay, but it's certainly not going to be simple, but it's not going to be complicated or too difficult as well. So that's a quick explanation of what goes on there. So what have we done with the timeline? So the basic average speed for the lead pack there is 135 miles a day for the last 5,000 miles. Now, that's a bold statement. All the passage planning we were making was based on 100 miles a day. And now all of a sudden we're seeing it consistently getting 100, 130, 135. Renault and the lead ones coming across the Atlantic was 135. It was like, huh? That's the Atlantic. Now they're still doing it. So 135 mile a day over 5,000 miles is pretty impressive. And that's an average speed of about 5.6 knots all the way for 5,000 miles. It's nuts. And the tail enders were 114 miles a day. I worked out their ETA to arrive at Cocos and just did the same calculation. And so they're averaging 4.73 knots for the last 5,000 miles. So no problem about concept. No one's complaining about anything really with the 580. And even I always look back to the rudder. They all say, they want bigger rudder and blah, 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 blah. So they don't get it. The rudders, I always call it a bit of a fuse. You can drive any boat as hard as you want, but you're not meant to do that all the time. And so the boats are proving themselves, sailing under wind vane, making great passage times, not stressing out too many people, too many sailors. And they seem to be pretty simple. The boats are simple, they're reliable. And this is in my mind what I call the end of the grand stage is Cocos, right? And I mentioned it in a post before. Everything right up until Cocos is milk run stuff. When they leave Cocos, you're really an ocean sailor now. You've got to put up with a lot. You don't know what you're going to get. You can get big winds, medium winds, big swells, no swell. Wind not always from behind. It can be at the side. It can be at the front. It can be quite heavy. Could last for a week, that heavy stuff. It's going to have to change their mindset. And I hope some of them are watching this because it's not a drama if it's blowing 35 knots on the nose. It's not a drama at all. You just got to sail the boat to the 35 knots. That means you're going to go somewhere else. So for the first time, they're going to have to really start thinking about sailing their boat in the ocean and going somewhere. And then basically heading down into the Southern Ocean. Not only that, you've got the Southern Ocean with the Agulhas Current and other currents, and that all starts to build from the time they're leaving Cocos. So it is a mind-changing situation. The stakes are completely different once they leave Cocos. They'll break in slowly over the first week or so, but it is a milestone. Everyone's done really well to get where they've got. I'm really confident about the state of the boats, touch wood, and also the state of every skipper on the boats. They've learned a hell of a lot. Some of them came into it with varying degrees of experience and skill sets. You can have a super hot racer that might not have much ocean experience, or they might have a super ocean experience guy that's got no racing experience. And then you've got others that have got no racing experience or ocean experience, not none, but very basic. I say that with respect. And now everyone's on the ball. They're on the even playing field. They're ready to go. They've achieved an incredible amount. They should all feel very proud. And now it's like turn the page. It's getting serious now. So, and that's exciting as exciting for them as it should be for you, the followers, and for many different things. So, I think that's probably enough said, but it's a game changer now. So they've still got a bit to go to Cocos. So based on all of that and the fact that we want to try and target for the boats to arrive sometime in early November in Durban, we've just posted the stopover times. And the lead group of 4 will stay for 12 days at Cocos, and the rest of the fleet will stay for 10 days. So what that'll do is it basically compresses the fleet a little bit. It means that whereas Pila had a gap of about 4 days to Adam, when Pila leaves, Adam will be leaving about 2 days after her. And we will adjust that on the scoreboard effectively, because we just simply add up their days. And it just keeps the fleet a little bit closer together. There's no real advantage for the leaders by getting 12 days versus 10 days. They will have had enough rest by then. But that's a reality. We'd rather it's a safe, not a safe. Well, it is a safe thing. The closer the fleet together, the more fun it is, and it is a bit safer. And then, as you know, we've got one other fuse there for the timeline, which is Rodriguez Island, which is a 6-day stopover. And depending on how the fleet goes, we may say for the extreme tail enders that are way behind, just sail straight past Rodriguez, which will give them a 6-day jump to catch up to the main fleet by the time they get to Durban, because that is a real situation where we'd like to see the fleet a little bit compressed when they're heading around the corner there. So all very interesting. Anyway, enough of that. We'll just see how we go with the questions here, and if there's anything today, John, very funny. Yeah, I'm not sure what funny is, but I agree. Always good to have a laugh. There's a hi, Don from Darwin. Good on you. Morning, Roseanne. Lucas, greeting from Norway. That's cool. Lucas Carey has been missing out on the current the last days, wondering why he is going so much more south than the others. Will he skip Cocos? No, Kerry. Everyone has to go to Cocos. He'll be there. We don't. We don't. It's going to change. I'm going to brief once they all get to Cocos. We're going to change a few things as they're coming out. We're going to insist, or they're going to have to give us updates now because for lots of reasons. We want to know what's going on the boats. I'm sure you do as well. So the days of silence might be over for the entrants. We've got to start getting news from all the entrants on a regular basis. Not every day, but every other day we want to know. Storum, by the way, great interview with Jacqueline Evers, Love Works. Oh, cool. With Christian Sawyer. Yeah. She's fantastic. Yep, absolutely. And she's rekindled my love of that Grinda boat. I forgot all about it until I saw a boat in real life. That used to be one of my favourite boats back in the late 80s, the late 70s, I mean. I fell in love with them and completely forgot about it for like 30, 40 years. And I was walking down the marina and I thought, shit, that's a Grin. I said, I always liked it over a day or so. And then I remembered, I thought, that's the Grin. Bloody hell. It used to be my dream boat. I had a little 29-foot Duncanson that I built, Sky, and that was my dream boat. So there you go. Anyway. And then one of the 580 guys just sold his 580 and he's bought one of them possibly because I was saying that this is one of the most perfect boats you could ever possibly imagine. It's just fantastic. He just went and bought one. So now I'm really envious. Anyway, Smiley and Port de Moresby. Do you think the waves will bend around Direction Island to make the entrance rolly? Yeah, quite possibly. Swells do hook around. It could get quite confused there, and there might be funny currents and so on. So they have to be on the ball. I wouldn't want to do it at night time, but the finish line is such that you can come in and dip the finish line, like where the day line, the day count starts, and decide what you want to do. There's to get across. So anyway, well, cool. John, please explain the dipole event you posted about. The dipole event you posted about. Explain the dipole event you posted about. You thinking I'm not sure what that is. Better drop a quick one and explain more. But you're thinking about the safari in Cape Town dipole event. I'm missing the plot. My head's always full. Oh, I've got to remember to. I'll hold the phone. Remember to do the updates off of Eric and stuff. Welcome to the Indian Ocean, indeed. Not got the reputation for being the most uncomfortable ocean to sail for nothing. I agree. Adrian, g'day, Adrian. Okay, just straight on to the WhatsApp ones. Here we go. From Kat. Okay, I don't think I read Wednesday. No, I did read Gorton because he's had another bit of a run-in. Josh said this is from Kat. Josh here dodging ships, asked if he expected any relief soon, and here's his response. This is from Josh just shortly ago. I hope so. Had two ships pass within 1 nautical mile of me, one behind and one in front. The first one I saw coming from the port side and had to cross in front of it before it ran me over. It was close. I think there's a pass through the islands just north of me that the ships must use to get up into Indonesia. So once I'm past that, I should be okay for sure. There's some big shipping lanes there, and there's all the ships going up into Asia off the either coming through the Red Sea or going around Cape Town or whatever. So there's not uncommon. So he's had his work cut out for him. Okay, and I think that was all. I was laughing at Jacob's photos. Yeah, that's the main one there. Oh, Eric, hang on, cheapest. Bloody hell. I'm trying to get off the air. Where are we? Sorry about all this, everybody. What the hell? No, I can't find Eric. There we go. Okay, Eric, last couple of days. Day 14. This morning, fishing boats everywhere off Samba. Had to weave my way past them, 128 miles last 24 hours, trotting along. Seas are starting to flatten a little. All well on board. That was on Tuesday. And then yesterday, update Sunbear, good run overnight, but winds this morning, 130 miles, 24 hours, moving along nicely. Cheers. So that's the sort of message we're going to be looking for every 2 days. So that's cool. All right. Okay. Hang on. I might have skipped a couple there. Lenka, I think you're referring to weather event. Oh, that one, the dipole. Yeah. Cool. That's a Lenka picked up on that. Can I explain it? No, not really, because interestingly enough, it's all got to do with temperatures and so on. But I tried to come up with some suggestion of the potential impacts for wind, and it was hard to relate the issues of temperature and sea state and currents to any wind gradients. Alenka had an opinion, and I just sort of repeated that it might create lighter tailwinds and slightly stronger headwinds overall. So, but I've been so busy the last couple of days, I haven't had the time to go and start pushing around and researching. But suffice to say, if you look at the fact that this sort of influence and effect has only happened, I think it was 4 times before, and everything's happened in the last sort of 10, 12 years or something that's never been recorded before. Things are changing. And so the reality is that certainly currents around the world are changing, and we're not expecting to see anything solid change with the Agulhas current, because it's one of the biggest in the world, like the Gulf Stream. So we just got to wait and see. It's a bit too unpredictable to try and preempt what the changes might be. But one thing's for sure, just historically with weather, when you leave Cocos, it's a different ball game, totally. So sorry I can't give you more than that on that, John. Welcome to the Indian Ocean, not reputation for. Oh yeah, Alenka, thanks Alenka. Nikki, thanks for. Thanks Nikki. Yeah. John, whether remember like share, but I'm confused. I don't think Don posted about it. No, I did. I shared. I got onto the post link that you sent me and had a look at it and read the whole story. And I took 3 of the screenshots of the various maps showing the temperatures and so on, and shared that to. It should have been up on the MGR site. So that's what they're talking about. Okay, that's it. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll get out of here, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow if all goes well. Thanks a lot. See you later.